Hey, college football fans, I'm Matt Chick. What has gone wrong at Tennessee since the season's promising start? Everything. We talk about that and chat with Kentucky coach Mark Stoops on the latest Championship Drive podcast.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Tony. Meta World Peace says he stayed at a haunted hotel and the ghost touched him all over his body.
Tony Kornheiser, and now one of them is his boo.
Oh, nice play on words.
You get it?
Is that what you paid for when you were an English major?
Irresistible, baby. Irresistible.
Harper.
Did you get any comments on being Lionel Richie yesterday? People like that? Really? What did he say?
Yeah, I'll show you the text afterwards.
Really? Lionel
Pretty
Richie?
profane.
So I didn't hear from Peyton Manning.
No, we did. We heard from neither one of them, of course.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Vikings stink. Cam Newton gets called out, and LeBron buries the Warriors literally. But we begin today with Game 6 of the World Series. Clearly, the Cubs have to win to stay alive, and they are throwing Jake Arrieta, who pitched in their Game 2 win. Cleveland is throwing Josh Tomlin, who pitched in their Game 3 win. Arrieta's on full rest, Tomlin is on short rest. The Cubs will have Kyle Schwarber batting second as DH. Wilbon, who do you favor, Arrieta on full rest or Tomlin at home?
What do you want, a full breakdown? You got to get Kirkjian or Glanville. You know, I'm not
Who
giving
do you favor?
I'm not giving you favors. I'm giving you this. I like the position the Cubs are in relative to being down 2-3 in a series on the road. I think there are important ingredients here that could work in their favor. Arrieta in his last outing seemed to hint that he can find the Arrieta of last year, his Cy Young form, 5 2/3.
He gave up one hit.
I just said
hint. He gave up one hit.
Hints. He also walked some people. And I think it's better for the Cubs to be on the road. I think the hysteria of Chicago and trying to please the metropolis works against them. I think being in Cleveland where together, 25 people against the world, I think that sports cliche works out better for them tonight.
So it sounds like you're picking the Cubs.
I feel pretty good.
Right.
But you know what?
Okay.
Cleveland's really good, and they're at home,
Yeah.
and they should be favored in this game.
I say this all the time. I am getting sick of saying it because it's every day for me that I think the Cubs pitching sets up better. I've always thought the Cubs pitching set up better. And you can say, well, Corey Kluber in Game 7 if there's a Game 7. And I would tell you that's the second time on short rest. And at some point that gets to you. I look at the Cubs, and the one thing that is true, they've been shut out twice. They got 2 runs one other game. All they need to win is 3. Just 3. How can a lineup with Rizzo and Bryant and Russell and now Schwarber, how can they not get 3?
24, 24, 23, 22,
How can they not get 3?
Because they're not. The one thing that bothers me, the only thing that bothers me about this team is they seem to have to learn the same lessons over and over. Put the ball in play. You don't need home runs. Stop looking at the win. You don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need Ruth. Just go and play because they can put the ball in play. My magic number tonight is 3. If Arrieta gives up 3 and goes 6 innings, I think the Cubs will win that game. I'm worried about the bullpen, and so is Joe Madden, because whether he would say so or not, it seems he only trusts a couple of guys out there.
I'll give you a great prop bet.
Montgomery and Chapman.
Here's a great prop
What's
bet.
the prop bet?
Can Javi Baez swing at anything in the strike zone?
I think
anything in the strike zone.
I think Javi Baez is going to be okay tonight.
Where's he been swinging?
Day off.
Where's he been swinging from?
Strike zone.
He's not close.
54 feet. That's all you got to get it within is 6 feet of the plate.
Right.
He's swinging.
That's
but
right.
not tonight. Not tonight, Tom. The Minnesota Vikings had a chance to really take control of the NFC North last night. Yes, I said NFC North, but delivered an uninspired, almost lazy clunker of a game and got clocked by the Bears in Chicago. Reports say Jay Cutler, on the other hand, delivered an inspirational pregame speech. More important, he didn't throw his characteristic soul-crushing interception. Thank you, Tony, for that phrase.
Okay.
But the bigger story here is the Vikes, now 5-2, who lost their second straight. Tony, you off that bandwagon? Have you crossed them off your list as contenders in the NFC?
I mean, to me, if you say, are they contenders, you're asking, can they get to the Super Bowl? I don't think they can get to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure they can get to the playoffs. They have no offense that is reliable.
Who's really good in the NFC? Who you got?
The only good team at the moment is Dallas, and everybody else is a pretender. But they're on a downward trend. They have no running back whatsoever. Right. If you, as we've seen for the last 2 games that Sam Bradford played, if you hit him, they can't win. They are, I'll go to the glasses for this. They score 19.9 points a game. That's 23rd in the league. That's behind San Francisco, a terrible team. And it's going down. The last 2, they scored 10 and 10.
Well, they knew they were dependent on the defense. They knew that coming in.
You ask me, are they a contender? No, they're not a contender.
Yeah, this is not a surprise. I told you a couple weeks ago when you asked me if 4-0 are they a contender. I said no, not yet.
No.
And so I'm not terribly shocked. The only thing that shocked me and disappointed me in a way for the opposing team in my context is that the Vikings showed no sense of hurry up and let's get this done last night. They were down 2 scores. They're down at 20-3. And it's like, what are you doing? They're walking up to the line. They're huddling up. They showed no sense of urgency. What the hell were they thinking? Were they just giving up a game to the Bears, the sorry Bears?
You sat here a number of times and you said the Bears were a 2-14 team.
Yeah, so now they're 4-12.
So now, no, but see, they have to go 0-8. Do you think they're going to go 0-8?
That's why I'm adjusted to 4-12.
Are you inspired by Cutler's pregame talk? Is Cutler back on your good list like A-Rod is?
How do you get A-Rod out of a football conversation?
Because you always tell me how much you love A-Rod.
That the Chicago brass, the people who run that team, who don't seem to be paying attention, they're going to say, oh, Cutler's our guy.
Yeah.
And next week, Cutler's going to throw 2 picks. One of them going the other way, because that's the way they roll.
My new favorite player in the NFL is Marcus Gilbert, offensive tackle of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who knows something about working with big quarterbacks because he works with Ben Roethlisberger, who's big. Gilbert said this about another big quarterback, Cam Newton, who was complaining about being hit. Quote, Ben gets hit more than anybody in the league, and he never complains. Come on, man. If you're out there and you're scared to take a shot, then don't be out there. Tell the coach or the coordinator to change the whole game plan. I'm sure all the other 53 guys on that team are hurting just as bad and pretty much take a lot of shots, too. It's just a football game, bro. Unquote. Whew. Wilbon, is Marcus Gilbert your new favorite player, too?
You know he is.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to hug and kiss him.
Yeah.
This is another quote, just so we get it all in there. This is a great rant, and it made sense. It was measured. Quote, this is a game of football. I'm sure the cornerbacks, linebackers, whoever he's running over, the safeties, they aren't complaining about getting run over, getting crowned face mask to face mask with a quarterback of a guy his size. Of course, guys are going to take shots. This is perfect in every way, shape, and form. And you know, this week I did a 180.
Yes.
I understood the hits he took should have been penalized on Sunday. But overall, going back to the Super Bowl, and let's talk about the culture of a place, the Carolina culture seems to be predicated on a lot of whining.
Yeah.
And when your superstar stands up and does this, and yet another member of the rank and file says, shut up, how can you not say bravo?
Yeah, I mean, and we do say bravo. I want to make something clear, and I'm sure I speak for you as well, that Cam Newton has a quarterback, regardless of how big he is, regardless of how big Ben Roethlisberger is. Every time you go with his legs, that's a penalty.
And it should be a penalty.
Cam Newton, every time you go with his head, it is a penalty. They have to be protected as Russell Wilson and Drew Brees, who are smaller, have to be protected. And they have to be protected as Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, the Golden Boys, have to be protected.
No question.
And we know that that is true. By the same token, one of the things Gilbert says that makes sense to me is this. You know, get more protection for your quarterback.
Tell the offensive coordinator. That's right.
Get more protection. And by the way, stop running the ball all the time.
Do we need to check the tape on week 1 of me saying this? Week 1. This has been obvious. This goes back to the Super Bowl.
Aren't you surprised that a player in the league said this?
No, because I think defensive players don't have a voice, really. All the people of our ilk and our business, they run to the golden voice. They run to the they don't run to the big, beefy guys, either defense or the lineman as much. And they don't do that. We go talk to quarterbacks and coaches. And you know what? Good that somebody stood up and said this.
There's one other thing, too, and this is also true. Roethlisberger, and I always think of Roethlisberger in context of Newton, because they're the biggest guys in the league. Guys hit him and bounce off. They actually do sometimes.
Ben doesn't do.
That doesn't mean you're not getting hit.
He doesn't run you over and get up and do this.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
No, he doesn't do that.
And so guys got tired of that junk.
Yeah.
This was a great rant. Really was.
It's good to see you're staying with your position from yesterday.
No, I'm staying in my position for all season. You want to be a quarterback and get protected, don't act like a running back. Stay your butt in the pocket some. We're 2 days into the week, and we haven't slurped Tom Brady nearly enough. You, Tony, said it would take Brady 3-4 games to round into form.
I did.
Well, how's this after 4 games? 73%, 12 touchdowns, 0 picks, passer rating of 133.9, which if he keeps that up will be the highest mark of that sort ever.
Yeah.
Of course, the Patriots are 4-0 in those games. Is it just a hot streak tone or something the golden boy can sustain the remainder of the season?
There is one statistic, I think, that separates Joe Montana from everybody else. Not just that he won 4 Super Bowls, because Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls and Tom Brady has won 4 Super Bowls. It's that in those 4 Super Bowls, he threw 11 touchdown passes and no interceptions. And we would all say, wow, that's the most amazing thing. Brady in the 4 wins was 10-3, which is not as good. But Brady, as you're pointing out in these last 4 games, I understand it's not the Super Bowl. You just cannot be better ever than he's been in the last 4 games where he's got 12 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's on a streak right now. I think it's sustainable because look at the body of his work.
Yeah.
Look at the body of his work.
No.
I mean, we're seeing, and he's fueled by anger, the same anger that fuels Russell Westbrook. He's out there to show he's the best.
He's the best. He's going to be the best. He can't sustain this. You don't need that's like sustaining a perfect game. You're not going to sustain a perfect game. Nobody even throws back-to-back no-hitters, but he doesn't need to. He's going to be great. He's going to go down to 68 or 69% because that's what the level has been over the course of his career, and that's great too.
Let me go through the games they have. You tell me win or lose. These are the games that they have. Seahawks at New England. Seahawks can't score
They'll
late.
win.
Okay. At 49ers.
Win.
At Jets.
Win.
Okay. Rams at New England.
Win.
Ravens at New England.
Win.
At Broncos.
L.
Okay. Jets in New England.
Win.
At Dolphins.
They might throw a loss in there. Just
so the worst they're going to be is 13-3.
The worst.
That's the
right.
worst they're going to be.
He's great. He is the MVP.
Unanimous.
There's no question about this.
Right.
So, but no, is he going to sustain that level of play? No. No, he didn't have to.
Do you think he could finish the year with the highest rating ever? Because
sure.
I do.
What is it? What's the highest rating ever? 122? Aaron Rodgers or something like that?
Who knows? You know what it's like? It's like temperatures in Celsius. Who knows? Who really knows? Lost, people from Newfoundland know, lost in the fabulous costumes that we wore yesterday, that's an inside joke, nobody gets that, was the fact that LeBron James threw a Halloween party of his own over the weekend. One of his decorations was a skeleton playing a drum set where you can see the vague outline of San Francisco and the words 3-1 lead.
Ooh.
LeBron also offered cookies in the form of tombstones with the names Klay Thompson and Steph Curry embroidered on them.
Wilbon,
fair or foul?
This is great. It's like when you stand in the playground and two guys are fighting and you stand around screaming, yeah, doom, gloom. This is great. The league needs this.
Fair or foul?
Of course it's fair.
Okay.
That's why if the Golden State Warriors had done this to the Cavaliers the previous year, it would have been fair. This is awesome. To have these two cross the country going at each other. And people would say, well, this is unseemly because it never would have happened during Magic and Bird. Oh, yeah, it did. Because I've sat with Magic for 8 years, and I know what Magic would say. He would look in the box score every night in November, December, February, and he would say, what the hell did Bird and McHale do?
Yeah.
And Bird has said the same thing. What did Magic and Kareem and Worthy do? This is great theater in the NBA, and the league needs it.
Let's understand this. This
Needs
is 100% fair. This guy won. This guy had the greatest three-game stretch ever. We just talked about Montana.
Yeah.
This guy had the greatest three-game stretch ever. And if he wants to bury them, literally, that's okay with me.
That's right.
Do they need more motivation than they have now? No. Is this going to add to it a little bit? I suppose it's going to add to it.
Draymond said he wants to basically crush them if they get through the West. He knows how difficult it is going to be to get through the West. But this is a great thing. Don't you agree?
The great. Are you listening to the show? The great line is from your boy Klay Thompson. When this is pointed out, he said, I don't get it. I'm not dead. Well, actually, you were. Actually, you were dead at that point. Let's take a break. Coming up, the Broncos and Raiders are both 6-2. They face each other this weekend. Would you rather have Denver's D or the Raiders quarterback?
And who would benefit more by facing the winless Brownies, Prescott or Romo? By the way, one of those teams ain't going to make it. Golden State or Cleveland, one of them's not going to make it. Which one is not going to make it?
I think they both.
They're not both making it. Never happened.
People wrote LeBron's obituary in fine.
Hey, football fans, this is Mel Kiper Jr. On the latest First Draft podcast, Todd McShay and I identify a crisis which must be dealt with in the world of football. Find out what it is when you subscribe to the show in the Listen tab of the ESPN app.
It's time for toss-up, and here's how it works. I win, but Wilbon always tries.
I got you trying.
What's first?
Toss-up, who would you rather watch play, Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook?
Okay, they're playing Thursday night at Golden State. I might even stay up and try to watch this.
You can't stay up and start till 10:30.
I will say,
I'll
say
so
that
asleep.
I have reached the saturation point with Kevin Durant. He blames everybody for everything every single day.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
He's
he does.
making this up out of whole
But
cloth.
Westbrook, Durant took so many shots at Westbrook, and Westbrook is fueled by the fury of 1,000 suns to kill Durant. So I want to see this. You know what? I don't think Westbrook
You were an English
sees
major,
this
were you?
as a team game in the way Durant might. I think he sees this as a me game, and I want to see if he literally bursts into flames.
This is hard for me because I like this brand of ball that the Warriors and Durant play. I like that brand. Westbrook without Durant, I like that too.
Yeah.
I often did not like watching Westbrook with Durant because Durant would be standing there doing this, waiting for the pass that would never come because Westbrook would pound it for 23 seconds and then put it up. But Westbrook by himself is a soloist that you want to watch. But Durant and the Warriors, that's the brand of basketball I respect. I do.
So which are you picking? Are you pushing?
I'm pushing.
Next.
Toss-up, they play on Sunday night. Who would you rather be? The 6-2 Broncos or the 6-2 Raiders?
I'd rather be the Raiders. I am not saying they're going to win the game because the Broncos have a wonderful defense. I am saying that going forward, I want to have Derek Carr on my team. Derek Carr is the rare young quarterback who in the fourth quarter will take it down the field and will score. And this ultimately, I understand defense wins championships, but offense wins a lot of games. Wins a lot of games on the way. If you line up all of the young quarterbacks in the league, like 28 and down, something like that, the only one that I would say I would want as much as Derek Carr is Cam Newton at the moment.
I'm sorry.
And he's complaining.
There's a guy with a Super Bowl ring. You forgot about him? Russell Wilson. I'll take him 100 days out of 100 over anybody named Carr except ML Carr.
I'm going to take Derek Carr. I'm going to take Derek Carr.
Because so far what he's also done is throw some soul-crushing interceptions as recently as last season. I watched those games. You don't.
He's young.
He's great. And having him with the Raider and the patch and all of that is really good.
Yeah.
But I'm taking defense because you know what can happen even when you're the quarterback of the Raiders? You can go down.
That's right.
And you can go down hard. That's right.
Thank you, Al. Next.
Toss-up, they play this weekend. Who's having the better season, Andrew Luck or Aaron Rodgers?
The immediate answer is Andrew Rodgers. Andrew Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers. The immediate answer is Aaron Rodgers because his team
is 4-3.
His team has a better record. And because in a quarterback contest, with the exception of Brady, you're always going to take Aaron Rodgers. But you might be surprised at how good Luck's stats are. His rating and his completion percentage are virtually the same as Rodgers. One less touchdown, one more interception, but many more yards. You know what his problem is? His problem is that line stinks.
His GM's
That's right. He ought to sue the owner for lack of support. Because he's been put on his can 31
There's
times.
No question about it. That front office, loud-mouthed as it is, has failed Mr. Luck.
That's right.
Failed, flat out.
That's right.
Fat grade of F.
Yeah.
Now, which quarterback? Aaron Rodgers. You know the answer to this. You don't have to study it. His team is going to be fine. They're going to win that division because you don't trust the Vikings, and neither do I. Okay, so what are we talking about?
The producers are always in my ear saying, take the other side. Take the other side. Let Wilbon go. Next.
Last one, toss-up. Who would benefit more from a start against the lowly Browns, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo?
I'm not going to stutter. I'm not going to stumble on this. Okay. It's insane to start Tony Romo in this game because you're playing a terrible team, the Browns. This is a lose-lose for him. If he looks bad against the Browns, you say he stinks, get rid of him. If he looks good against the Browns, you say they're the Browns, they stink. What you do is you start Dak Prescott because he has earned it. If you want to see Tony Romo, which I understand,
when you're leading 34-7.
Put him in the second half. But if you start him, you're killing him.
Well, the Cowboys can get it wrong because they're the most self-indulgent franchise in sports in American history, save the Yankees. But the Yankees have won a lot more. So we know that Jerry Jones can get this wrong. And I swear, I like watching Dak Prescott. I want them to get this wrong. Generally speaking, I like the Cowboys when they just fail spectacularly and fumble at the 8-yard line and can't get it done any way, shape, or form for years at a time. But Dak Prescott deserves his start. Don't goof around the team. Don't screw around with the locker room and chemistry. They got him rolling late.
Put him in late.
Mop up.
That's it. Let's take one last break. Still to come, Percy Harvin makes an unexpected career decision.
And how much should we buy into the Bulls 3-0 start?
How did we get through almost the whole show without a mention of the Bulls?
Why would we?
How did it last this long?
The Knicks aren't 3-0.
The Knicks stink.
The Wizards aren't 3-0.
The Wizards stink.
None of your I-95 teams are 3-0.
That's right.
None of them.
That's
a lot of them.
Yeah,
none of them.
None of them are
Miami.
Well, Boston's pretty good.
No, we already beat Boston.
They're pretty good.
I'm Andy Katz from ESPN, along with my co-host Seth Greenberg. On the latest edition of the ESPN College Basketball Podcast, we are going to discuss the notice of allegations at Louisville and Seth Greenberg on a tour around the country. Go to the ESPN app and click on the headphone icon to get our podcast.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by the Brewers of Guinness. Please drink responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 81st birthday, Gary Player. At this point, Gary Player is the oldest living, greatest golfer in the world.
Great.
But you know all about Gary Player. Everything I am saying is an excuse to run these photographs of Player and Yao Ming. Look at these. It appears these are two different species of people. Yao Ming is 2 feet taller than Gary Player. Look at that. He's a
wonderful
trophy.
Humanitarian, Tony. To me, he's on that list with people like Arthur Ashe, Billie Jean King, Muhammad Ali, Roberto Clemente. He's just a citizen of the world. Everybody's better off for him, for having Allen.
Happy anniversary, Drew Brees. On this day last year, you tied an NFL record by throwing 7 touchdowns in a win over the Giants. Drew Brees never gets hurt. He always throws for nearly 5,000 yards. He always throws for nearly 40 touchdown passes. He is as consistent as the day is long, and the New Orleans defense is so bad that they are a non-factor.
Why can't they put a defense out there in the last, 4 or 5 years?
At least.
It's ridiculous. They just give up 40 every time you walk out.
He's got to score 50. Happy trails, Ray Allen, the 41-year-old great shooter, announced his retirement today. Today? He hasn't played in 2 full seasons. Obviously, nobody wanted him. When Rajon Rondo was asked about Allen's retirement today, Rondo replied, quote, "I thought he'd been retired," unquote.
Ray is in Florida. He's doing fine. He's got other business interests. He's got stuff going on. Ray, the great Ray Allen.
Yes,
anybody out there want to claim they're greater than Ray Allen shooting over a period of time? If you're Curry and Clay, you can make the claim going forward.
You got to put it out
Ray
there
Allen's
for a while.
there.
What error? I said twice that LeBron literally buried the Warriors.
With a shovel?
If he had done that, he'd be in jail.
Yeah.
All he literally did is make cookies.
There you have it.
Let's go to the big thing.
Let's do it.
The Bills re-signed Percy Harvin out of retirement. Your thoughts?
Huh? Ray Allen? Who you want, Ray Allen or Percy Harvin?
Well, if I played
He's
football,
28,
I'd want
but
Percy
I don't
Harvin.
see anything coming out of that. Tigers confirmed he's going to play at that Hero World Challenge. You think he'll actually do it?
Yes, it's his tournament. He owns the tournament. It's only 18 people.
He just hosted it.
He
Have to play.
needs the work, Mike. He needs the work.
That's true.
Ronda Rousey told Ellen, your girl, that UFC 207 will be one of our last fights. Is that a smart decision?
Yes, Ronda Rousey is still an incredibly popular woman. She can do a lot of things, host stuff, be involved. Just don't get beat up anymore. The Chicago Bulls are 3-0. How they getting it done?
Obviously, with the best coach in basketball, Fred Hoiberg. You want
to make that case for real?
Dwayne Wade. His legs will last until December. He's doing great now. Last one.
Lead the league in
Warriors
scoring.
at Blazers tonight. Who you got?
Got the Blazers. It's just one game. The Warriors still need time to get that thing figured out, Tony.
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. And I'm Tony Kornheiser.
That's a stay-up detox game for me after the Cubs. I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. Check us out on iTunes.
A detox game?
Yeah.
Number 1 ranked Alabama heads to Death Valley for a huge SEC showdown against LSU.
Snap, fumble, Alabama's got the football.
Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.